What's going on, Laker fans? Give everybody a second to come in. Yeah, that didn't go as planned. That definitely didn't go as planned. All right, we got a few things that we're going to get into. This one will be a little rapid fire. Feel like sometimes when you win a game, it's yeah, more time to kind of celebrate things. When you lose a game, it becomes all business. All right, I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We're going to spend some time breaking down the actual game. I just have thoughts on the game. There was a post-game comment from Darvin Ham too that I want to ask Laker fans about and see what your opinion is on just I guess you could say your overall thoughts on how the series has gone so far. Um, Talk about guys that are not delivering. Where's D'Angelo Russell? Dennis Schroeder wasn't there today. Anthony Davis. I guess we still are going to have games like that from AD. So we'll spend a little bit of time on that. And then we'll look a little bit forward and talk a little bit about game three and how the longer this series goes, I think the more it's going to benefit the Memphis Grizzlies. So we'll do all that in just a second here. See what you didn't do enough shadow boxing. That's why we lost. You could be right. That could have a lot to play with it. That could have a lot to do with it. Let's see. Disappointing loss, but it's still early in the series. Blown opportunity. This to me is very close to where I kind of land on all this stuff. Is more just the opportunity. I don't feel like the Lakers took advantage of. Okay, we'll get right into it. Let's for those who eventually come in, then they'll have to just get caught up on all this. So I'm gonna give my thoughts just on the game here real quick, and then we could take it from there. 103-93, the final score. So Laker fans, if you've heard me the last couple of days, I did a video as well that I put up on YouTube yesterday. If you heard me the last couple of days, basically my theme has been this. Anytime you walk into a series where you're the road team and you have two in a row on the road, your goal is to split, period. That's the goal. We just got to take one. Now we got home court advantage. We go take our chances back at home at crypto.com. So the New York Knicks feel really good about getting one in Cleveland. The Los Angeles Clippers feel really good about getting one in Phoenix. The Miami Heat feel good about getting one in Milwaukee. Just anybody who grabs one, you feel good. The Golden State Warriors, they don't feel good about dropping the first two in Sacramento. There's some real pressure on them tomorrow when they go into game three. That's usually the idea and the concept behind walking into starting a series on the road. That's no different for me in this series. However, that changed based upon what happened with Ja Morant. So the Lakers grabbed game one. They looked good doing it. Rui with 29. Austin Reeves did his work. Braun and Anthony Davis had 10 blocks and 5 steals between the two of them. So everything worked out in game one. And Ja Morant was there, left the final 4 minutes of the game. Lakers went on a 15-0 run with 3 minutes left to go in the game after Jaren Jackson Jr. hit a three to pull Memphis within one. Okay. And then the news starts coming out about, hey, Ja Morant may not play in game two. Hey, there's a strong likelihood that even if Ja Morant plays, obviously he's dealing with so much pain in his right hand. He's not going to be the Ja Morant that we're all accustomed to. So I don't know how you guys felt, but I've been pretty clear that, okay, well, if the best player on the opposing team is not healthy or potentially not going to play, getting a split 1-1 that's not good enough. Why would that be good enough? Imagine with the Memphis Grizzlies not having Ja Morant, Steven Adams, and Brandon Clark. Imagine if Braun, I don't know, pick two other players, whoever you want, Jared Vanderbilt and Rui, or Jared Vanderbilt and Dennis Schroeder. Imagine if those three players are not available for the Lakers. Okay, well that's going to make it incredibly difficult. And imagine if Memphis is completely healthy. That's going to make it incredibly difficult for the Lakers to win that game. And that's how I walked into today's game against the Memphis Grizzlies. I get the concept of the split, but not under these circumstances. So the Lakers walking into today's game against the Memphis Grizzlies, I was under the belief and the assumption you got to walk back to crypto.com up 2-0. You just there's too much of an advantage for you in this game. If you just play your kind of basketball, you should beat the Memphis Grizzlies. And right out the gate, before anything gets started, Lakers are down 11 at the end of the first quarter. They're down 15 at halftime. So clearly, the Memphis Grizzlies said, "All right, well, we're undermanned, but we're just going to play desperate." And for all those that are saying, "Yeah, but look at Ja Morant. When they don't have Ja Morant, look at their record. I think they're 11-10 without Ja." A lot of those games, Steven Adams and Brandon Clark were in those games. So it's one thing to miss one key guy. It's another thing to miss three players, two role players, and one of your stars. So for me, it was a frustrating game to watch. They went all the way down by 20, and then they made a game of it, came all the way back, got it down to 6. And the second half played much better, but they had dug themselves such a hole. And when I hear Austin Reeves saying, they played harder because they were more desperate, for me, that's okay. I get that. I understand it. But when you're when you don't have your best player, um, I don't think that should happen. Even if you play down to your competition, I just was not expecting the Lakers to lose this game, so they end up losing by 10. Okay, I'm gonna get into individual players in just a second, but let's see. But let me read some of these comments. Lakers playing with their food again? Absolutely. Not everyone on the Lakers gave full effort. I don't know if that's the case. I can't judge that, but I will tell you they got outplayed. They got out hustled. The way the Memphis Grizzlies came out, they seemed like a team that knew, hey, if we don't win this game, we're done. And they definitely came out with a much different approach than they did, I thought, in game one. All right, let's read some of these. Okay, here's another point. Francis, we played like a 7 seed. I will take the split. Fair. Somebody wants to take the split, fine. I get it. I understand it. I'm just not on that boat. I looked at it a little bit differently. Let's see what else we got here. Um, okay. If I said before the series started, we split with Memphis in the first two games, would everyone be happy? Yes. But if I told you this, hey, if you already won game one and in game two, Ja Morant doesn't play, would you be happy with a split? I think most people would say no. I think they would say, wait a minute, if Ja Morant didn't play in game two, then you should be up 2-0, right? If you already grabbed game one. So I guess, David, it's when do you ask that question? And, obviously the circumstance changes as we go. Okay, let's get into the actual game now. Let's see. Who do you guys want me to go? First 1 to 5. You want me to talk about AD or you want me to talk about D'Lo? AD, D'Lo. AD or D'Lo? Which one? First 1 to 5. Just put AD or D'Lo, and I'll do whichever one you guys ask me to do. All right, D'Lo won. Oh, this is going to go fast. Okay, D'Lo, AD's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically, it's like 10-2 AD. All right, let's go AD first, and I'll go D'Lo after that. So Anthony Davis, 4 of 14 from the field. Took a listen. I got to be better. There's more I can do. Got to be more aggressive. It's basically like every post-game show we've heard of Anthony Davis when he plays poorly or he's not aggressive enough. 4 of 14 ain't going to get it done. That's in 38 minutes of play. Anthony Davis went 4 of 14. Body language. Just it's a typical Anthony Davis game, and we've seen it. Listen, AD has had 12 blocks this series already. I mean, the dude's a beast on defense. No one's questioning that. But what you don't have with the Memphis Grizzlies right now, Brandon Clark, Steven Adams, two big men of theirs are gone. Jaren Jackson Jr. has to focus so much on everything because he's, obviously they're so thin with their big men. And here comes Xavier Tillman tonight, 22 and 13. Xavier Tillman had better numbers than Anthony Davis tonight, 22 and 13, 10 of 13 from the field. Jaren Jackson Jr. took 10 free throws. Anthony Davis took 4. Anthony Davis took 4 free throws in the first half, didn't take another free throw in the second half. So I've done enough post game shows. I've done enough post game shows after the post game show, which is what this is. And this is not that much different than an Anthony Davis game that we've seen in the past where we say to ourselves, well, where was AD? Um, I get teams will double team him. I get teams will focus and say, okay, hey, let's let other guys beat us, all that stuff. I understand all that. But every great player gets that treatment. Everybody. You don't think there's games where Giannis gets that treatment, where Jokic gets that treatment, where Embiid gets that treatment, where, Shaq back in the day used to get that treatment. And here's the funny thing. You know what's going to probably happen in game 3? AD's going to deliver at crypto, and he's going to have another good game. But tonight, when you had a chance to take a real stranglehold on the series, he did not deliver. And his performance does have something to do with the Lakers' results because that's how important, that's how key he is. And Anthony Davis did not do his job tonight. That's the best way that I can put it. AD did not do his job tonight. You can't go 4 of 14, and you can't only take 4 free throws. I've said this before. I'd rather him. Okay, if you took 14 shots and you only made 4 because you had a bad night, can you get to the line 12 times? Can you get to the line 10 times? Are you demanding the ball? Are you doing things where if we're going to lose this game, lose it on my back? Don't lose it on somebody else's back, or don't lose it with a different type of player, or whatever the case is. um, you know, it is kind of what it is. So I'm disappointed in Anthony Davis specifically, and certainly there was an opportunity for the Lakers tonight, and they did not take advantage of it. Um, got some work getting done. Got some work getting done, Laker fans. So just keep your eyes on me. Just stay with me here, Laker fans. Let me read off some of these comments on Anthony Davis. Let's see what people got here. All right, if AD doesn't give us 30, 14, and 4 next game, I'll be very disappointed. I mean, you got to be aggressive. I mean, that's the one thing that I'll always say. You got to be aggressive. This is AD can't stop Tillman and Jaren Jackson Jr. Oh, my apologies, David. Guys, read the comment. He's got to pour some more wine. So just give the guy a second. He's going to pour his wine, and then we're going to get the show on the road here. Okay, let's keep going here. Seemed like they got easy buckets in the paint tonight. Do we try to fit more sides in the rotation or chalk this up to an off night? It's kind of funny. They're the ones without all their big men. We have our bigs. We have enough size. So that's always interesting to see that there. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about D'Angelo Russell here real quick. So, man, D'Lo's kind of becoming a little bit of an extreme here where I don't know what we're gonna get from him. But if you're gonna play 30 minutes, 2 of 11 from the field for D'Lo, 5 points, only 4 assists as well, and 3 turnovers. So of all the individuals, D'Lo had the most turnovers. Shot as bad as anybody. I don't think anybody shot worse than him. No, they didn't. 2 of 11. Um, 7 rebounds and 4 assists. D'Lo's a little too extreme. It's too much. I don't know what I'm going to get. Is D'Lo going to have 19 points, and is he going to be, uh, you know, uh, 6 of 8 from the field, and he's also going to have 6 rebounds and 6 assists, or he's going to go 2 for 11 with just 5 points? Kind of some extremes from D'Angelo Russell. Um, D'Lo's hot or cold. Is not consistent. Um, All right. I agree. I really do agree that he's not consistent, and I'm not 100% sure. Lakers going to have an interesting decision at the offseason. I think more likely than not, they're going to offer him money because you can go over the cap when you sign players that are on your own roster. And then, if you decide, okay, hey, let's trade this guy or let's move on, you could do other things. But so up and down. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just want to have um, I want to have. I don't know if I have the best example here, but it's like if you hang out with a friend I don't need an extreme friend. I don't need somebody that's going to be way high or way low. Just give me kind of what to expect in the middle. And D'Angelo, I feel that. I feel like I don't know what he's going to give every single night. Then in his interviews, he doesn't want to be labeled a point guard. He's just a hooper. Yeah, that was an interesting exchange. He kept saying, Brad Turner, who's a friend of mine, is on the show often when I do the radio stuff that I do. He comes on the pregame show too. Um, I think the case was, hey, how can you guys as point guards get Anthony Davis the ball, or what's your responsibility towards it? And he's like, don't label me as a point guard. We're not point guards. We're just hoopers. We're this. I don't think that was that big of a deal for him to go back and forth on, but yeah, we'll see. D'Lo, 15 to 20 million player, not 30 mil plus. Well, in free agency, all you need is one team to set the price, and that one team could be they decide what that house in that neighborhood is worth. So you may not want to buy it, but if somebody else does, all of a sudden it's worth that. See what they here. So I think D'Lo needs the ball in his hands and doesn't know how to play off the ball to LeBron. Um, Maybe there's a little bit of that, but I've also seen D'Angelo off the ball make things happen a little bit, and that hasn't always been the case. So I don't know what to tell you. I just don't like the inconsistency that he brings to the table. That part's a little bit frustrating. Okay, so Laker fans, um, this is what this loss ultimately means for the Lakers. What it means is this, and I get it. Sweeping in the playoffs is not easy, but I'm just going to go back to this. Um, when the other team's missing their best player, I just thought the Lakers would have taken advantage of it. That's all I'm trying to say. Really, at the end of the day, that's all I'm trying to say. OC O'Neill, appreciate that. Retweet, subscribe, all that. So please subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate that. So, by the way, I'm seeing some of this Dillon Brooks stuff, which I'm going to get into in a second. We'll get into Dillon Brooks. I didn't see it, so I was doing, I'm not typically ever playing the interviews from the other shows or the other team. So I will try to find this Dillon Brooks stuff, and I'll talk about it in just a second. Actually, it will be a good conversation, but let me first set this one up here real quick. So what this loss means to the Lakers is, okay, Lakers can't come back to LA and give themselves a chance to finish the series, right? That's what this loss. Again, I'm not saying they're going to sweep them, but if you already took game one, Ja's not playing in game two, that's an opportunity in my eyes. Okay, Lakers missed that opportunity. So this is what it means. It means now we got a series. It's 1-1. And if the Lakers are content with being 1-1 after two games, the Memphis Grizzlies are also content, saying, okay, we'll take 1-1. Ja leaves in the first game with 4 minutes left to go. It's a 1-point game with 3 minutes left, and the team kind of falls apart from there. But you know what? They bounce back without Ja Morant. They got a W. So what this means now is the series is at minimum going to go 5 games. So you got two coming here at crypto.com arena, and I do expect the Lakers to play different in front of their home crowd. I think the place is going to be rocking. It's the first playoff game that the Lakers have had in a full capacity, like a real playoff game with a sellout crowd since the Kobe and Pau days. That's how long it's been, literally. Go back and look at the history of it. 6 years, Lakers didn't make the playoffs. Then they go to the Orlando bubble. So all the playoffs in Orlando. Then the following year, they play the Phoenix Suns, but that series against the Phoenix Suns is limited capacity. Then they're out. Then they don't make the playoffs last year, and then here's where we are. Place is going to be rocking. But what it does is, I really do believe this. The longer Memphis can hang around, the more dangerous this gets for the Lakers. Because if you lose a game at crypto, well, now you know it's going to go 6. Even if you win both games, you know it's going to go back to Memphis either way. So Now you got, another road game against the Memphis Grizzlies. And the amount of rest that Lakers got to start off this series, that's going to start changing. So remember, they played on Sunday, couple days. First off, they got 4 days of rest because they won the first playing game. Then they played Sunday, they got 2 days rest. Played today, now they get 2 days rest. That's it starting Saturday. Saturday is game 3. Monday is game 4. Then you fly back to Memphis for game 5. Then you fly back to LA. And that's going to be so Saturday game 4, Monday game 5, game 6 would be Wednesday. The point I'm trying to make is now it's the luxury you had of resting a little bit. That rust is going to be gone, or that rest is going to be gone. And I think the further you go, this becomes an advantage to the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's what today's loss means, and that's why I was so maybe frustrated about the losses, because I'm kind of counting some of these games and saying to myself, all right, well, they got to do a better job from that perspective, because that's the opportunity that they had in front of them that they were not able to take advantage of. Okay, let me see if I can see here. Um, so Dillon Brooks and Braun were going back and forth a little bit during the game, obviously exchanging some words. Let's see if I can hear this. I don't think you guys can hear this. Okay, so Dillon Brooks was just asked about LeBron. Let's see here. So the question was, some people are saying Lakers are making that run, and you're going back and forth with LeBron, talking, whatever. Some people would say that's a bad idea. And Dillon Brooks said, I don't care. He's old. I don't care. He's old. Okay. That's his response to it. So I'm going to Wise Books talking now when he skipped media after a loss. Um, Okay, let me say this about Dillon Brooks real quick. Um, I've said this before. I don't mind the trash talking. Dillon Brooks basically saying, I don't care. Hey, LeBron James is old. I'm not paying attention to him. I don't mind the trash talking. I really don't. Here's the problem with the trash talking coming from Dillon Brooks. He's not that good to be running his mouth. His mouth makes it sound like he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's averaging 25 points a game. If Ja Morant was going out of his way to run his mouth, just a, just a, I'm just going to use Ja Morant as an example. If Luca, who's a young player who can back up and get you 40, 10, and 10 on any night. If Ja Morant can drop what do you have against the Lakers earlier this year, 28 points in just the third quarter, a player like that, which I'm still not saying it's a good strategy, but that's okay if you want to run your mouth. But you can't run your mouth and be a average player in the NBA, because I don't know if Dillon Brooks is any more than that. I at least from what I've seen from Dillon Brooks, um, for me, maybe I'm not watching enough Memphis Grizzlies basketball. His mouth is a lot louder than his game. Where usually, if you want to run your mouth, you want your if you want to run your mouth, you want your game to be louder than your mouth. Where it's kind of like, all right, well, my game just did my talking. Now, but listen, maybe this is a Dillon Brooks strategy. Listen, I'm all good with it. It's fine. And maybe it motivates the Lakers. Maybe it does nothing. But I think this is where, let me find where somebody said, somebody I think actually had the quote for me here, which I appreciate you doing that. But if I can't find it, then I can't appreciate it. Uh, let's see what we got here. All right. Yeah, I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. All right. Thank you, Rob Log News. Dylan Brooks on Brand Names. I don't care. He's old. I poke bears. I don't respect someone until he gives me 40. Okay. Hey, maybe that's the strategy. Maybe the strategy, and this is what some people think. He's a clown. Um, Did Minnesota come all the way back? Is that what people are trying to tell me? I saw somebody put "Go Wolves," and I didn't know what the hell anybody was talking about. Wow. All right. Well, if that happened. Um, Other people saying, "I love the trash talking." You just gotta back it up. That's it. Now I gotta come check the score real quick of, the Minnesota game here real quick. Let me just check that out. 79-79. What the hell? Jeez. Okay, that's a little bit of a surprise there. Um, all right, so we got some trash talking here going on. Maybe that's part of the strategy. Maybe they're trying to, get him off of his game, whatever the case is. I don't think Braun is going to care. I don't think that's going to mean much, but it's good content. I like talking about it. I just think that coming from Dillon Brooks, it doesn't have nearly as much power as it would if it was coming from a big time player. So that's all I mean. But maybe that's the team likes when he does this. Maybe this wakes them up, go win some games. I mean, Dillon Brooks has been running his mouth to the Golden State Warriors as if the Memphis Grizzlies have won 3 championships in a row. Obviously, that has not happened. Okay, real quick on Game 3, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here because I've been at this radio station way too long today. Um, I expect the Lakers to play a lot better, a lot better. And I expect these role players to play a lot better. And I expect the Lakers to have, one of those games where we say, all right, hey, you know what? Lost game 2, but we came back and it's 2-1. Lakers will have a chance coming up on Monday to go up 3-1. I mean, that's the expectation, but I thought the Lakers would take advantage of this opportunity. We'll see. Should be a fun game. We got a couple days to talk about it, and we'll see how things kind of um, I guess you can say, unfold over the next couple of days. The big question is going to be about Ja Morant. Is he healthy? Is he back? Is he ready? Not healthy, but can he play? And how impactful can he be? And then you had a lot of players step up for Memphis today. You had a lot of players play poorly for the Lakers. And now the question is going to be, how does that flip coming into this game coming up on Saturday? So, Lake fans, I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We will do this again after the game on Saturday. Maybe I get something up tomorrow or Friday. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to promise anything. But I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. I appreciate you guys being a part of the live chat. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel. Hope you guys all have a great night, and we'll get back with you guys for Game 3 post after the post. Thanks, Lake fans.